Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here with the Performance Lab of California, and we're going to do another breakdown here today on JaMarcus Russell, past first-round draft pick of the Oakland Raiders out of LSU. You know, he's a guy that had some big-time arm strength, and got a couple of people that have requested to do JaMarcus Russell, so I thought I would go ahead and do the breakdown. Really, the big thing is going to be, how we had that big arm, and going more into, the deep ball that he has, and what makes him him essentially. I mean, he's obviously was a first round draft pick, so there's some things that he brings to the table. But we'll also go into some of the inaccuracies and why he also has those inaccuracies. So let's just go ahead and hop right into it. So. This one's one of the cases of what one of his problems were. It looks like, from a loading perspective and how he kind of whips through with his elbow, he's got a lot of power there. He's got a lot of fast twitch muscle within that arm. You can see how he loads back and then just snaps it right through. I mean, we're going in really, really slow motion here. And so the fact that he's able to do that so quickly is why, he was able to have the arm strength that he had. Now, he uses his body as a big part of his ability to create the force that he does. So he's pushing off that back leg. He's twisting that back leg, making it so all of his momentum's coming forward. But you can see he has a legitimate lateral movement in his in his throw, right? So he's going and he's moving from back to forward, and then from there, now he's able to get that rotation in the front hip, and does a good job of allowing that spine to open up like that. So see how he's getting a good amount of rotation in that mid spine, but then he comes to a hard stop and starts leaning forward. And this is where he had a lot of accuracy problems, right? You want to have a continual fluid movement after you throw. You don't want to come to a kind of like a hard stop there. Usually when that happens, you're going to end up missing high, and we'll go into another throw where he does that. Now, I would say probably the area he could have improved on would have been that left hip, making so the left hip would be able to rotate a little bit more, externally rotate a little bit more, and maybe even into that left ankle, right? So that left hip really doesn't get all the way around, which is the beginning part that stops his whole body from moving. Now, that helps him in creating some of the whip, but he can also get that whip if he just was able to bring his body all the way through, and now that would be a way that he didn't miss high. Okay, that ends up being a big problem for when guys miss high, is that they really stop the whole movement. And again, I have another throw that goes more into that, but first we're going to go into what makes JaMarcus Russell an intriguing guy is his deep ball. So notice his change of height, right? So he's going to go and he's going to raise up that front shoulder. He's going to drop that back shoulder. And the big thing is he didn't increase the step, and he also really didn't increase too much of his level so he didn't sink down a lot and then come up. He just basically stayed the same in how he was loading. And got that front foot down, so he didn't end up taking a big stride, and that makes it so really he ends up using a lot of his arm, a lot of, again, his momentum. But notice how he's able to get that same rotation that we saw earlier. So he's able to open up that front shoulder a lot, which is a big part of how he's able to, throw the ball far. So, one of the big things that I see once it comes with deep ball is the stride lengthens, and the ability to open up in that front shoulder becomes more difficult. The guys don't do it as effectively. And so if we can work on getting that effectiveness a little bit better, now we're going to, improve as a quarterback, right? And effectiveness in terms of, still being able to reach those mechanics, right? So now when you throw a deep ball, all of a sudden you're not able to get that rotation. Really, the key rotation is going to be right above that left hip. So notice how he gets that moving. See how he gets that moving as that arm's coming forward? Because he's able to do that, that's what makes it so he can create a lot of force behind the ball. It matters how, for the deep balls, you really got to use your lower body better. I mean, there's so many guys, as soon as you go into the deep ball, they lose the lower body mechanics and start using all arm, and that's where the fall off happens. So here, you really got to be able to continue that rotation all the way through, no matter how far you're throwing, and that's where JaMarcus Russell's very, very effective, very efficient. That's why he was able to have the success that he had throwing the football. Now, another big thing is from his loading position. I know we're on the wrong side, so you can't see it great, but Notice how he starts with the elbow low, and then from there, it's just all elbow high, right? So when you go and you bring that hand up or the ball up when it's back behind you, you got to make sure that you're going all upwards. You don't want to drop that elbow at all as you're coming forward, okay? So notice he's back there. You can kind of see that black sleeve there, and now he's coming straight up, right? There's no time in there where that elbow is going down as he's transitioning from that arm going back to the arm going forward, and that's a common mistake that I see, is that guys end up kind of losing that excuse me, as they're going through the throw. Excuse me. All right, and then here's the last one. This is going to be from the back. This is one of the reasons why, as you're coming through, you got to make sure that you don't stop, right? So notice how as he's coming through, he hits that same kind of here he kind of extends that knee a little bit more, so he hits even a harder front stop on that front leg. And even after he throws, you can kind of see that he's almost leaning back in his overall movement pattern, right? He doesn't come all the way through in the throw. He's kind of leaning back over to his right side, and this is why you end up missing high. If you don't end up coming through, and it's hard when you're, see how he goes high there? Okay? So, when you're throwing, if you don't continue to get through, and also you got to have the ball's got to be in a good position in your hand, right? So we got to keep your hand on top of the ball. But if you stop that rotation, if you don't go drive all the way through the ball, now that's one of the biggest reasons why you're going to end up missing high. And it's really easy, especially when you have somebody open, to not drive all the way through. You want to almost put a little bit more touch on it, whatever the case may be, whatever the reason is that the brain decides not to go all the way through. And certain times ends up being a key detriment when you're trying to be effective as a passer. And that really, I was talking to Eric Kramer the other day, who was a prior NFL quarterback, and he was saying, the key thing that you need to have in this league, in the NFL, is you have to be consistent, for long periods of time. It's all about consistency and being able to perform at a high level for a period of time, right? That's what Tom Brady can do. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. I mean, they're all Drew Brees. They're consistent. They're going to do, we all know what they're going to be able to do, and we all have, certain expectations for them. And so, when they're going through and they have a wide open corner route right here, or wide open out route, they're going to keep the drive. They're going to keep their mechanics. They're not going to fluster here, which is going to make it so they're going to deliver. They're not going to miss these crucial type of throws. That is the difference between winning and losing, or first downs, whatever the case may be. And being able to maintain that consistency no matter what the throw is, whether you're throwing deep, whether you're throwing it out, whether you're throwing to the left, whether you're throwing a post, all these things you have to still be able to have a consistent movement within your mechanics, or else you're going to end up having your ball's going to be all over the place. You're going to end up throwing interceptions. You're not going to have a high completion percentage. And so to really be successful as a quarterback and to really be consistent, you have to be able to really hone in and focus on what's going to allow yourself to be consistent. One of those things is being able to every single time drive off that back leg onto that front leg and land on that front leg. End on that front leg, and getting that arm all the way through, and getting full rotation in that T-spine each and every time you throw. Okay, so you want to work on, that's why at the end of each season, Tom Brady goes right back to work, Aaron Rodgers goes right back to work, because they want to keep that consistency and really feel how to be able to throw that ball correctly. And as long as they can continue to throw the ball correctly, then they're going to be able to maintain a high level. So important concept to understand there. Okay, no matter if the guy's open, not open, if you're throwing to the left, throwing to the right, throwing a deep ball, throwing underneath, there needs to be some type of consistency to your mechanics in order to be accurate and be the most effective quarterback that you can be. All right, guys, thanks as always for watching these videos. If you have any questions about our ebook or our 5-month online program or the video, go ahead and send them over to me. My email is Morey, M-O-R-E-Y, @yourperformancelab.com. And additionally, if you want to sign up, check out the links below for those programs or for that ebook. very, very informative, going to help you out. The ebook goes into in depth about how the perfect throw looks. What are the mechanics for the perfect throw, and then the other part of the 5-month program is an online program where we do these breakdowns for you bi-weekly. We create an exercise program for you. It goes really, really in depth in how you can become the best quarterback that you could be. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.